Hello, you. Welcome. If you're new here, I'm Rebecca, and my husband Larry and I, live in Kentucky. You're watching my weekly video about the going on and the happenings here in and around our little country home. You're seeing this bird that comes and visits every morning. She sits out there. I think she's waiting to see if Larry's going to turn the water on so she can get a drink. It's been very dry, and we get a lot of this. You just see the clouds go by. Somebody somewhere's getting some rain. As our lawn just continues to dry out, we're not going to put and spend the money in on watering it. It's a 1 acre lawn, so we just sort of let nature take its course. We took a little stroll down the neighborhood and just going to give you an update on the old barn. We had heard that she's trying to find somebody to take it down, and when she does, we truly are going to miss it. I love sitting at my dining room window looking out at this old barn. It reminds me so much that we're out of the city, in the country, but you can see a lot more of the tin roof has come off of the top, and there's even more on the other side that's missing. And they say when it loses the roof that the rest will continue to deteriorate quickly. I think some birds have nested inside the old barn, and when we get a storm, more and more pieces come off, and this is the one side. It's beginning to tilt, and it's tilting away from the road, so if it does fall, it's not going to fall out on our road here. That is our house right there. And you can see from the inside that it's just really coming apart, and we would like to have some of the old barn wood. I think a lot of people throw the tin and the wood back inside the barn. We didn't step inside because we don't feel that it's very safe at all. I'm sure the beams are pretty sturdy, but we won't take any chances today. Come Sunday, see the cloud going by? Well, it leaves as quick as it came, with just a few drops of rain, but we'll take any and all that we can get. It was just enough just to wet things, but it wasn't really enough to water the plants, so we will continue to water some of our trees because they're newly planted this year. And of course, any of our blooming plants will need plenty of water, so they'll be gorgeous throughout the year. At least once a month during the summer, I do like to give all of my blooming plants, including my ferns, some bloom plant food. And I usually have a funnel, but I couldn't find it. But later I found out it's in that Miracle-Gro box sitting right there on the right. And when I opened it, I realized that I had left it in there from last year. But generally, the first of the month, I like to try to give all of my blooming plants some plant food. And they continue to produce blooms all the way up to the fall, usually till the first frost. So I really enjoy all of my blooming plants for the summer, my black-eyed Susans, my rose bushes, my mandevillas. These are usually just gorgeous. we had such a wet spring that I was late getting these in the pot this year, but they usually bloom all the way up to the first frost as long as I continue to give them a little water. And these yellow flowers, I cannot pronounce the name of them. They come back every year, and they're the type that sort of bury their dead. You don't have to go out and deadhead these at all. They've got so thick that we need to thin them out, and I'm hoping that next year we'll do a little bit of landscaping in the backyard to thin out some of these plants in the front landscape. Here we are Tuesday morning, and it is 58 degrees outside. I step outside and it's very, very cool, but you can see it's still rather dry. We did get a few drops of rain and just a little bit of moisture, but not enough. You can see the green around the trees where Larry's been watering the trees, and the runoff. That's about the only thing green that's out there other than the garden and the pumpkins back there in the wooden box. But looking over at the fence early this morning, guess who shows up? There she is. I think she's waiting on Larry to water the garden so she can get a drink. Or maybe it softens the ground that she's looking for a worm or something. Before getting started with any of my chores, I like to have my coffee. And after fixing my coffee, I will start some laundry today. As I open my blinds on this sunshiny day, it's just a reminder to me that my blinds need dusted and some attention, and the inside of my windows. I didn't have a whole lot of strength last year to do a whole lot of the spring cleaning, and this year it just seems like time is getting away again. So I really do need to get to my inside windows and the outside on the deck. They just really need some attention. And I've just been going room to room, dusting the blinds. I'm getting some laundry started today. I like to get this started early, and I would much rather do 3 or 4 loads in one day than I would just a load every day. I don't like doing laundry every day. like to try and have a routine every morning and every day. I do really love it when my bed is made. It is just so nice to have the bed made during the day. I can leave the door open. But if I'm not feeling up to it and I don't make my bed, I do shut my bedroom door in case I do have company, or sometimes I just don't like to look through and see something that's unfinished. I have thought many times about changing out this bedroom suit. It's really huge, it's vintage, it's about 25, 30 years old, and the nightstands are sort of really big, won't fit on both sides of the bed, and I thought about doing something different. But each time that I do, I sort of talk myself out of it. And it is cozy. It's just a super king size bed, and it just seems like when you walk in the room, it's just a sea of bed. So, but anyway, until I know 100% that I'm ready to make that commitment, I will remain with this bedroom set. I'm really hoping to get back in that master closet you can see there through the door. That's the bathroom, and then the other door, far door, is a walk-in closet. And I've been wanting to get in there and take everything out, do a good cleaning, and only put back in the things that I have used. I have things back there that has not been touched for 5 to 10 years, and it's just senseless that it's just stored away in there. So I really need to do a good closet clean out. Now it's time to start cooking supper. I have 2 chicken breasts, soy and W sauce, 2 eggs, yum yum sauce, butter and seasoning. And I also have 2 Uncle Ben's ready rice, and I like the butter and the garlic, but they do have different options. Start cutting your chicken into bite-sized cuts. I like to remove the tough part from my chicken. And if you want it, you could use shrimp or steak. I have these 6 small croissants that need to be used before they expire, so I will add a mixture of butter and Italian seasoning and warm them in the oven to make us some Italian bread with our meal tonight. You could use a garlic powder instead, or just plain butter them up. Over on my stove, I'm setting up 2 skillets, one to cook my rice and the other one for the chicken. I'm adding the chicken to the high heat skillet just to brown it on both sides. And I'm adding a little salt and pepper along with some Italian seasoning. Sometimes I will use Mrs. Dash instead, it just depends. For the rice, I've just started out on a medium heat. I just sort of want to warm it up. It's already ready rice, but I just want to warm it up and make sure that it gets sort of separated and heated up. I came up with this recipe when we went to a hibachi grill. So I came home and I put this together, and we have loved this meal ever since. After the chicken has browned, you add your soy and your W sauce to flavor. I don't have any measurements for this recipe. This is the way that I cook, and I just sort of add it to taste and sort of know what we like. I would start out, if you're going to try this, start out with a very little amount, and then the next time you cook it, because you can always add that sauce to it after it's cooked. Make a spot in the middle of your rice and add a pat of butter and your 2 eggs, and you just like scramble up the eggs, and then once it's scrambled up and cooked, you're going to mix it with the rice. Once your chicken is done, you're going to add the meat to the rice, and then make sure you put your rolls in the oven so that they can be heating up, ready, so you can have everything come out at the same time. At the hibachi grill, they fix these delicious vegetables with it, like zucchini and onion, but my husband doesn't care for it, so I leave it out, and I won't buy all of that just for myself. But when we do go there, I just love the vegetables. But you could add them if you wanted to, and you could just sort of saute them on the side and add it all into one dish. And once this is all done, let's go ahead and I'll fix up a plate and show you what it looks like. After we have our meal, it's now time for the cleanup, and usually if one cooks, the other one will do the cleanup. We really like it that way. Do you all ever have like a room that everything sort of just piles into when you need to find a place for it? It's almost become a dump room. But not only that, I mean, here's my ring light. I've got a fall quilt up since last year. I was sewing in here one day and then all of a sudden everything just stacked up. So I like to try to pick an area or a room each week to clean for. And this is one of the rooms that I picked for this week. And this is my sewing / craft room. And I think my everything room. But I do need to get it organized. I want to get in here and sew up some more of these little chickens. But I'm so overwhelmed I don't even know where to begin. So come along with me as I try to get this mess straightened up and make this room usable again. I think I'm going to store away about 3 of these quilts from his grandmother. I don't really display them or anything, so I'm just going to go ahead and put them in the back master closet and put them away for a while. I may bring them out occasionally, but I want to put up a different quilt here on my quilt stand, something more for the summer. I need to vacuum the room, but there's a lot of loose little threads and pieces of fabric that will just get caught up in the brush of my vacuum, so I want to go ahead and sweep it up and then bring in my vacuum to get up all of the dust that I missed. I picked up 3 of these chairs for $12 at a garage sale last year. 2 of them are down in the booth, and this one's been sitting out in my garage. It's got a lot of cobwebs all over it, so I wanted to bring it in and clean it up really good. I've been wanting to put this in my sewing room and stack my quilts on this chair. I thought it would look sort of neat, so you'll have to let me know what you think. No piece of furniture is allowed to come in the house unless they get felties, and I use this on all of my furniture. My dining room table, I do have to change those out about twice a year because they sort of get wore out. We use our chairs a lot, but all of my furniture on my hardwood floors get the felties, and it just keeps furniture from scratching up my floors. It was a much needed rain, so with it raining outside and no activities going on outside, let's move back into the sewing room and finish it up today. It's just a really good feeling to get my sewing room cleaned up. The windows are done, the blinds are dusted, and just a few things. I know it doesn't look, great, but it looks like it's worked in, and that's what it's all about. But everything's been moved around, cleaned, baseboards dusted. I definitely feel like I could come in here and do some sewing. I changed out my quilts, the one on the stand there on the right and the one up on the wall. I didn't change anything on the wall. Larry did come in and hang these old paintbrushes up for me. And that applique is something I did many years ago. And I gave the mannequin a new apron for the summertime. Now I feel like I can come in here and do some sewing. I've been sewing these little chickens. I call them sister chicks. And I make those and I sell them in the booth. And there's my chair, ladder back chair with my quilts folded on it. And then that's my quilting lamp back behind it. I usually don't need it in the summer, but I definitely need it out for the winter for sewing or working puzzles. So I leave it out right there in the corner. If you would like to know how to make sister chicks, I will put that link to that video in the description box below.